And yeah, there it goes. All right, so the last thing we saw you guys do was get off the ship and back on your own ship.
Yeah.
Having met the scary drawing and their weird nature, which is cool. And they had gotten you to the point of agreeing that you should go to this human conference, which they kind of can't do, or at least they seem to indicate they wouldn't do. Take your brain, take your pick. Um, with the idea that it would allow you guys to find out a bit more about what was going on. And you were reminded after you left the ship of the notes from the previous crew of the ship that you discovered that were killed by the weird invisible lizard peoples. That not to trust Usute because he's a prick, basically.
And who was the Sute again? He was the
he was the leader
of the ship. He was the leader of the ship. Yeah,
he was leader of leaders.
That's right.
Yes. And you also discovered that the droid have absolutely no capacity to recognize the invisible aliens, despite your many reasonable efforts to convince them that they were real.
Yeah, which is fine. But we just recognize that they were uplifted by the ancients, and for some reason the ancients were jerks.
And I think, did we in effect agree that you guys have also, because the thing is, we realized in that conversation that for most of you not being the dolphin, that you forget about the invisible alien unless someone reminds you repeatedly that the invisible alien exists. And that is very much down to Orcus actually having to remind you all frequently, no, there's these invisible aliens.
And I can't even write it on a sign that like they see every day because they'll just ignore the sign.
They will, yes. So that, which has reminded me of something, I need all of you to make, and I think it's actually I've got it in the Foundry instance. I don't have to go scurrying through all of the other stuff. I can actually just read it. Where is it? No. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe I didn't bring it across. Damn, that's annoying. Okay, just give me 1 second. Just need to remember exactly what the rules were. Not those guys, not those guys. Oh. Must be here.
As this turns out, there's been a death bird on our ship this whole time.
I would have seen it.
It's true. They would have. That is actually true. No, there's a regular roll you can make. Here it is. And what is the roll? Oh, it's just a raw roll. It's not based on a stat. Okay, wow.
2d6.
2d6. So can I get 1, 2, 3? Can I get you to make a 2d6 roll with a +3 modifier, please?
Oh, okay. Okay, so 9.
Yeah, 6 ain't gonna do it. Okay, yep. Oh, who's that? Randia.
13 looks pretty good. Oh, why is that reset to that? That's me.
And you don't need to make a roll, Orcus.
Oh, good.
You already believe in the aliens. Okay. So did you roll 13, Brendan? Was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
All right, win. So there comes a point where you no longer need to be reminded.
Nice. You can help me remind them.
Nice.
So you actually are able to hold the image of these things in your head.
Smarter than all you guys.
Exactly.
Madness
Yeah,
is
Except
spreading.
me.
I don't want to be
Madness
judgy,
is
but yes.
spreading.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Whereas Kush and Clank are less convinced. All right. So you're basically dropped off at Weiss, which is near Aki. I can actually kind of go. Where's Weiss? Yeah, there it is. So I can go. This is so good. I'm loving this bit. All right. So you guys are dropped off here at Weiss. You need to make your way to Aki.
Well, we get going.
Yeah.
All right. So the yeah, okay, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that's just that. That's just that.
Aki, and we are on Trim, weren't we?
You're joining a conference being held in Aki, which the tickets have been made available to you by Usut and Dusk, the sport or drone of the drawing. All right, so you're at Weiss, and you're sort of making your run to the jump point when a reasonably large, compared to you guys, not super large, but large all the same, Gazelle rated cruiser. What is it? It's a 100-ton? No, it's 400 tons. It's going to be 8 actually. Where's the stats for the Gazelle? That's the key. Oh, there are no stats for the Gazelle. I'm probably meant to just be able to find them. Okay, cool.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. So the Gazelle's like the way I'm imagining it, for those of us who've seen Andor, is it's the Imperial patrol vessel that pulls
Oh yes, the Arrester class.
The Arrester class, that's right.
They
So
really worked
basically,
naming.
yeah, they really work that in. So the Gazelle is like a light cruiser. It's usually used for patrol. It's not massively high tech, like its tech level's not much above your own. So it's a tech level 12, 13 ship. Anyway, as you're approaching the jump point, this Gazelle approaches you and requests that you stand down for a standard, inspection.
No,
Right.
thanks.
I'm going to send back the necessary codes to avoid this.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna basically alert. You're basically telling this local Imperial Navy ship that you are untouchable.
Yeah.
It's a neat trick.
Okay.
I'm making the assumption that we have these codes because we would have to have codes that identify us and tell people to fuck off.
Yes.
Like the Rocinante had that book.
Yeah. And there's so make a. I feel like it's going to be a command roll. Not a command roll.
I can't do it.
No.
Oh, I have leadership. That could be.
That's the sort of role I was thinking of, actually. So, actually, maybe you can do it.
For the first time.
Leadership and sock, which, of course, you have the highest sock in the party.
What's sock? A +1.
Social.
Yeah,
Because
no,
you're
I
the
got it.
highest
Okay.
ranking member of the crew. You're actually a minor noble.
Rightio.
Hilarious. The dolphin is in charge. Anyway, okay, go.
Can I provide the
Dolphin.
dolphin any advice with my administration?
Yeah, I'd like
skill?
some also supporting stuff.
I assume that's what
Sure.
admin is, right? Navigating the
And
buildings.
this shows how much faith we have in our captain. All of us are jumping in trying to help out.
Oh
look,
no,
it's good.
we know how this works.
Yeah, the dolphin is not.
How do I just add +1?
Yeah, if you click on leadership, up pops the thing, and you can add. Where is it? A characteristic modifier.
Right, cool. So excellent. Sock +1. Yep. And
But you might want to let Antos have their role first since they're
Yep,
assisting
yep,
you. So
doing
it's
it,
change.
doing it.
So Antos, if you're doing admin, it's admin plus intelligence.
So admin plus intelligence. And do I hit the chain? No, then Orcus hits the
No,
chain.
I'd add your value to mine.
Okay, cool.
No, you can hit chain actually, but
Oh,
anyway.
just too late. Oh, it's a -1.
Oh, dear.
I give you some terrible advice.
Yes, you do.
Shit.
You're welcome.
All right.
This is like the Canyon Pass all over again.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. All right, go, Orcus. 8 + 1 + 1 - 1 is 8. Okay, which is enough. All right. So this woman's face comes on. She's human. What's her name again? Sub-Lieutenant Ikir Zika. So she's Villani by descent with a name like that.
Mhm.
And she's got the sort of broader, wider eyes, a couple of features that make her characteristically not of soul. She comes on. We've received she comes on and she's looking across and she goes, look, we just need to check your code against the book and it's just going to take a few minutes. Please don't try and go anywhere until we have.
I find your lack of efficiency disturbing.
Are they still
I have a
approaching?
role.
Or are they...
I have a role to
Sorry.
play in this galaxy, and you are impeding it. I advise you to act very quickly.
I see. Yes, they are still approaching, albeit slowly. And they definitely have. But the ship is not like accelerating or anything. It's just traveling at the speed it was traveling at before. There's a few minutes of delay. And then she turns up in front of the video and she's got a large file index thing and she's clearly flicking through it, going, now your code was, and then she finds the code line and she goes, okay,
You could
I've
stop
never done
now.
this. I've never done this before. What am I meant to do now?
Go away.
And pretend this never happened.
And pretend this never happened. Hurtful. Okay. We will go away then, and not board you in any way, shape, or form. I hope that's okay.
Do not record this transaction.
Okay, we'll do that. Oh, we lost. Oh God, we've lost.
Clank, you're clanking. Can you go on mute?
Sorry.
That's it.
Okay, so we've lost Dave. So going well so far. All right. So yes. Hold on. I probably better just check that. All right. He'll rejoin when he's Couldn't probably seems to have gone completely offline. Okay, so sure, she pretty much allows you to jump out. She doesn't do anything, and you're able to jump from to Aki. So Aki is
a warning world.
Yeah, it's a big world. It's a pretty heavily populated world at that. So
What's the yellow thing? It's like a don't go there if you can't, or some shit.
It just means that it's So amber means that there's advisories out about potential risks.
Travelers Aid Society rating. Sounds like the DFAT. Don't go to a terrorist country.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, for reasons. And in Aki's case, what's the reason again? They usually tell you in the first bit. Oh, that's right. It's due to a long history of popular unrest, and it doesn't seem like it's going to change in the near future. Various schemes intend to relieve pressure or distract the populace and produce poor results. They're not particularly worried about it. This is the Imperium. The Imperial authorities are not unduly concerned. So long as there is no disruption to the subsector economy, the affairs of the planetary population are their own. As a result, the downput in industrial areas tend to be heavily and vigorously policed. Off-world sometimes wonder why there is an amber zone in place since the area they visit are safer and more regulated. Straying beyond these zones results in a rather different experience. It is also populated in the billions, and it has a pre-stellar technology level. And it's smaller than Earth at only 8,000 kilometers diameter.
So lower gravity.
Yeah. And I will add you back. Sorry, there you go, Dave. You're back.
That's okay. Sorry.
All right. So, yeah, there's so you guys are basically asked if you could join the Glisten Pearl. Glisten Pearl, named after the capital of the subsector, Gliston. Now, this is the ship, the subsidized liner, where the conference will be occurring. So,
paradise.
Exactly. So you're asked whether you're comfortable. So your choices are, rather, you need to do something with this ship if you're going to the conference.
Oh.
We can't. So sorry.
Well, no,
so we
can't be on the ship in the conference and on your own ship.
So we would land on the planet and get a little shuttle up or something. Is that what?
Well, you can land at the high port. You can park at the high port. You don't have to go on the planet at all. There's a big high port above the planet. So you can leave your ship there and catch a ride on the Gliston Pearl.
And we can't just dock on the
No, it's a 600-ton liner.
Okay.
Cool. You guys are what, 200-ton? Like you'd be a third of the size of the ship, basically. So no, you would have to park your ship at the high port and then come back and get it.
I keep on forgetting I've got this. I've got my own ship. Can we use that as our ferry? So at least we've got the ship under our control there.
You can.
Mm-hmm.
How big is your small ship?
From memory, it was only like 2 people or something. It was the scout ship I got when I left the scouts.
Oh no, that's another 100-ton ship. No. You can take like a little gig. You can take like a 45-ton or a 40-ton ship, not a 100-ton ship.
Oh, I thought it was like a little fighter craft or something. Fair enough.
No, it's a spaceship. It's an interstellar capable vessel. It's 100-ton. All right. So, by the way, we're having we can see your face, by the way, Dan. I'm just making that point for your awareness. Your camera is
And
working.
you have a lovely roof.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so the Gliston Pearl is a subsidized Type M subsidized liner. She's got 600-ton displacement, and the captain is Adeko Unag, which your resident Vargir expert can explain to you is a Vargir name because it's AEDHKO. And you've got tickets to attend this conference as noted and as interested parties, people who are interested in ancient technologies and ancient rumors and stories, which is why you're here.
Okay. Team,
And-
I think that a couple of things. Thing one, I think our El Bad Guy just tried to stitch us up because we are carrying somewhat non-legal shit and we managed to get around it. So there's that. The second thing, give me 2 seconds.
I'm hurt by the implication. I'm just going to
Yeah,
make that
sorry.
point now. Yeah, good. As long as we're all on the same page, that's the most important. Keep on going. Keep on going. Sorry. Yeah.
The dolphin's been abducted.
Oh no, we've lost the dolphin.
I was having a similar thought in the other direction that we have a bunch of shit that we really don't want to leave unsupervised in our ship.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think we're gonna have to leave my gun behind.
Yeah, but like the
Right.
super gems, didn't we have a super fancy case that we got from the Crazy God Woman?
You
in
did.
episode
You
1?
had a highly secure case that is basically meant to be, impenetrable to all different types of scans and all of that sort of stuff, and
Yeah,
highly lockable. And yes,
and we
you have
carry
one of
that with
those.
us.
If we go to a conference for suspicious artifacts, will they search our baggage? Like otherwise, I'm thinking we jam all our stuff in that and bring it with us, and then the dolphin convinces anybody who tries otherwise that they're not going to look in our briefcase. Thanks.
That's my opinion. I think we carry the loot with us and we just leave the gun stashed.
Yep.
Yeah, because you won't be able to take the plasma weapon
No,
onto
no.
the ship.
I understand that.
Doesn't
Jeez,
fit in a briefcase.
so judgy.
I just don't want there to be any ambiguity later. That's all. I don't want you to feel like I didn't, give you fair warning.
So what are we allowed to carry on board?
What are you allowed to carry on board? Not much. Like you're basically, if you carry things on the ship, you're pretty much going to be talking. And I'm just grabbing 2 screenshots from the book so that I can show you what she looks like. So you might be able to take body pistols on. So your classic sort of very low kit, very low tech, low damage pistols. Or you can try and smuggle something on if you feel so inspired, but you'll need to work out how to do that.
Well, I will, based on that, leave my laser pistol behind, is what I'm hearing. But bring my stunner and also my monofilament garrote that I'm assuming I can just hide in my pocket, more or less.
Pretty much, yeah, that's a fair comment. Yeah, it's highly, the monofilament is definitely more of the sort of hidey toys. So, yeah, you can take low-tech weapons that are easily concealed. So if you'd like to do that.
Yeah. Can you add me the other thing in, please?
Oh, sorry. I can. I've now got you twice.
What about a high-tech but non-lethal
No, I don't.
stun taser, essentially? It is tech level 12, but it's specifically a stunner, not a murder weapon.
Okay. Sure.
Great.
Okay, wow. I don't know why this is not working.
Not that this is going to turn into a fight, clearly.
No, I mean, what are you worried about, people? You're so paranoid. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? You're on a Starliner. You know, no one's ever attacked a Starliner traveling between places.
Is there any way to automate our ship to follow?
No. No, you'll have to come back and get your ship.
Okay.
All right. So you're
Is
all
it worth
carrying.
one of us?
Go on.
I was going to say, is it worth one of us staying on the ship and following?
Do we leave Tom behind? Punishment for not turning up?
Yeah. Like Tom's on the ship.
Okay.
Seems like we might be overthinking it slightly, to be honest. We should probably
That's what we do. We overthink this.
Well,
But
if we
then,
can't bring
as a
weapons,
great
as
DM,
far as questions are concerned, it's just a couple of boring conferences and canapes and tummy rubs.
Exactly. Look, just you'll be fine. What are you worried about? All right, so you're on the ship. Let's just bounce forward. No, there's no way to get your ship to chase this ship. One person can't really pilot your ship by themselves anyway, so it's not really viable to leave one person behind to crew the ship and chase you. It's not really designed for that sort of thing. You are on the Glisten Pearl. You've got your tickets. You're met by a guy called the Captain of Knowledge, which is his nom de plume in the ancient hunting community. He's somewhat weaselly, but very wide-eyed. As soon as you get to the ship, he's like, "Oh my God, you came! Who are you?" He's looking at all of you. Anyone want to answer his question?
Did we maybe should have thought of this in advance. Do we have cover?
Sorry,
identities?
no. I was just driving the car. I was on mute. I am Orcus Magnificus of the House Beneficent. We are studiers of ancient archaeology, and that's why we're here.
Oh, excellent. Oh, and I've never had alien come to, and he's like obviously quickly checking his like little library. He's got one of those he's got what looks like a little pair of Google glasses basically on, and he's like looking at you, and you can see him thinking for a second. He goes, "Oh my God, you're a dolphin."
I am so glad.
Soul.
Well, I mean, genetic history, yes. I'm a lord of the realm, though, sir.
And a fellow, and one of the other races that was touched by the ancients. He points to Kush. Of course, you're especially blessed because the ancients lifted you further than they lifted humanity. So that's really a blessing. I mean, otherwise you would just be like kind of animals, really. So I mean, it's a blessing. You must feel the touch of the ancients wherever you go.
Every day, I'm thankful that I'm not a mere human.
And the others of your party, you fellow humans, fellow members of the uplifted, unless of course you're from Sol proper, in which case I am sad for you that you are not given the blessing that the ancients gave the rest of us, but accept that some were cursed where others were blessed.
I'm giving him like the look of the long-suffering manservant, and I just kind of wave the briefcase, and I'm like, I'm just here to carry his bags.
Not here to actually be at the conference. What about you, Clank? How are you responding to, the love that only a, manic, completely uninterested in anyone else person can give?
I'm feeling kind of grateful for it. I think I'll just come up and introduce myself as Stell, and I'll feel like when you meet somebody who's just way into a particular race, and you're not a member of that race, so just quietly let them geek out over their fetish, I guess.
No
Before.
kink shaming here.
Yes, there's no kink shaming here. Just glad that I'm not the target of it.
Oh, excellent. Well, look, so obviously, Orcus Magnificus of House Beneficus.
Beneficent.
You are. Sorry?
Beneficent.
Beneficent. Ah, sorry, I misheard. You and your party should attend immediately. Let me escort you onto our fine vessel. And he points to the glisten pearl. It is a thing of beauty, is it not, to work with others who share our passion for ancient things. I must introduce you to the other people who have come.
Please do.
Excellent. So he takes you into this conference room, and
sorry.
you realise. Oh, sorry, go.
I don't know. Sorry. Do I think that it would be detectable if I am using my communication systems to record?
If they're writing to your local drive, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not sending any signals out.
No, I'm not saying it's pure local
Yeah.
for various reasons, but yeah.
Yeah, sure. All right, so he introduces you to 4 or 5 people. How many is it? You realize that you actually outnumber all the other delegates. Just by turning up, you've actually outnumbered all the other delegates.
Right. So
there hasn't
can I say
been
the use of conference here is somewhat misleading?
Yes.
This is somewhat less than I expected when I heard the word conference.
Well, look, it's early days and many don't share our passion for ancient technology. But I did send a number of people the invitation, so perhaps more will join later, he says, with a slightly hopeful look at you guys. I mean, you've basically doubled the number of conference attendees just by turning up. And even though most of your people seem to be attendants of yours, he's going to take it as a win. When he writes out how many people came to the conference, you're all getting added in. Let's just put it that way. Oh, no, it was very successful. We had 15 attendees. That sort of language as opposed to 5.
Including the staff, right?
Including the staff, exactly. So you get introduced to these 4 people. They're all human, I think. Yep, 5 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people. The first is a guy called Vlen Backett. He looks like probably in his 50s, maybe early 60s. It's hard to tell. Obviously, there are analgesics, anti-aging drugs available, although they're hideously expensive. But he is clearly pretty much in control of everything. He's got grey hair, but it's all very perfectly grey. He's surprisingly handsome, and is even you guys like. He's just really well known in the circuit. He might actually be a real expert as opposed to a pretend one. Vincentia Dashel. And she claims a network. Just yeah. So another human female, somewhat younger. She's kind of throwing around ideas. Arjun Nathuso. Okay. So another wannabe. There's Jessica Umgi, who's actually a scholar. So she introduces herself as Dr. Jessica Ungi, and she is a scholar and does actual research into ancients culture. So she comes from the University at Glisson. And Zenoir Alexei Kuda, who is also human and female. Interestingly, her name suggests she's from Sol. So all the others have Villani or Vland names. Her name is explicitly Sol, and actually pure Sol. So she might actually be from Sol. She could be a brother, a fellow member of the Sol background, Orcus. Okay, so yes, there. So the first person to really kind of reach out to you to talk to you, now that you've been sort of quickly shuffled around the room, is Vlen Backett, who's very fascinated. I've not seen you on the circuit before. You really interested? Or,
I tend to work through intermediaries for the most part.
Do you?
I
see.
I was somewhat intrigued at this meeting. I was told it was a conference of mind, and so I thought I would turn up in person with my people.
I see. And tell me, what do you think the ancients were? I'm always fascinated to know. You know, it's a good starting point. Vincentia over there thinks that there was no such thing. There never was an ancients race. It's just a bunch of different civilizations that rose and collapsed over time. So this idea of a single ancient society sort of binding the galaxy and moving people around is a bit of a sort of far-fetched idea. What do you think?
I remain open to possibilities, really. My focus is more in how they thought, and whether that thought comes from a combination of species or a single species doesn't particularly interest me.
I see. My good Vargir, I see you're a member of the church.
Yes, I am.
Holding true to the tenets of your faith, then, are you, in relation to the ancients?
I did my best.
As long as it involves stealing. Sorry, that didn't come out right.
Oh, I mean, as we all understand, Vargir have a different concept of ownership to humans.
My hand was on my head.
I see.
I'm driving the car.
I can't help but notice, actually, Sir Orcus, if I may call you that. I just note in passing that the suit you're wearing seems to have a number of connectors that would normally be found connecting to significantly greater firepower than one would normally expect to see on a noble of your bearing and stature.
Well, that's quite observant of you. I have been known to take part in more vigorous activities.
I see.
This suit allows for that?
I imagine it does. And quite the suit it is. And I see that you're two-person servants. So is this the correct assumption that these two good gentles here are your sort of bodyguards / attaches? Is that correct?
I'm just here to carry all the stuff that
my
the boss
research.
buys.
I see.
They form the core of my research team.
Do they? That one just declared that he's just here to carry the luggage.
Well, carry, understand.
And the other one, Clank, is it?
Yes, I have an interest in the mechanical remains that were left behind and how we may be able to adjust them in the to our future use.
Oh, a bit of a sort of, let's dig up the science of the dead and reuse it for our own good person.
Well, I believe the
I mean,
ancients themselves would have called it recycling, frankly, and it's better to be used for our common good as opposed to rotting in the ground like a corpse.
I see.
I think
Well,
that's a
what
somewhat
very...
crude way of thinking about it, because when we understand the technology, we can understand their thought.
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, no greater path to knowledge could be understood than deconstructing the technology of a 300,000-year extinct species to understand them.
Or species.
I could not possibly judge. I personally hold to the opinion that there might have just been one, but I know very little, of course. Just a dabbler myself.
Okay, I don't trust this dude. Is there a what's the options for okay, I don't have it because I won't. Is there some sort of fucking perception, sense motive?
I feel like he's asking too many questions, personally.
Correct.
So, funny story, you can use carouse if you take him drinking to sort of, get a bit of a sense of who he is. Other than that, you've got Streetwise, which is not so...
Can I use deception to understand if he's deceiving us?
His deceivingness?
Yeah.
Yes, I think that would be legit. I will make the point that I think Kush has got deception a total of +3 because he's a bit deceivy. That's Kush.
That's just slur.
I'm just reporting what I see, but I'm not making a value judgment on it.
I'm merely wise to the ways of lesser mortals.
I see. Well, do you want to try and sort of detect? What do you want to know? What do you want to try and understand? Tell me what you're trying to understand.
Well, remember, we're here at the behest of the whatever they're called, the drawing, because they said that people were trading in technology. That's the reason, right? They basically wanted to control the technology that people were selling. Yeah.
So that's why I was dropping hints about all the stuff we might buy in the hopes that he might pick up on selling us some stuff.
Does he appear to have a genuine, I guess, intellectual interest in the ancients? Or is he pursuing some sort of business venture?
Make a deception roll for me, please.
And can I add to that? We are carrying a high security case, right?
Yes, you are. That is true.
Can we also detect whether his has undue interest in that case?
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I need 2 rolls because they're 2 related but different questions.
Cool.
Kush, for the first one, the target number is 12.
Okay. Only 9.
He is... now make the second roll. And this is to determine whether he's got any interest in your case. There's a particular interest in your case. We'll make that a 10. Okay, so, Kush, you are convinced of the following. 1, this guy is like he's like the best poker player you've ever met. You have no read on his intentions at all. He's just impossible to read. With regards to his interest, does he have an interest in the case? Look, he does evidence some interest in the case. He's fascinated by it. He's obviously identified that it is something specific, and actually makes the point to both of you that. Well, actually, when you start sort of quizzing him or trying to work out what's going on, he goes, "Look, I think we can put our cards on the table, as they say. I'm a genuine collector of ancients technologies, and you claim to also be interested in ancient technologies. I just thought you might have some that you'd be interested in sharing." I mean, I can show you some minor artifacts that I collected.
This.
Yes, he's saying.
Sorry,
this.
he's saying. Sorry, so this is not okay. Gotcha.
Very happy to.
Certainly interested to see what you have in your collection, and certainly as I may have some interesting things to share.
Oh, well, if that's the case, look, how about we arrange a bit of a private showing at some point?
I think that would be excellent.
Could
excellent.
I?
Well, yes.
At some point during this conversation, could I roll streetwise? I want to see if he thinks we're a mark or not.
Yeah.
Like if he's buying what we're doing, what we're saying.
Yep. Go for it.
Oh. 7.
Does he think you're a mark? No, that's not the read you get. As a matter of fact, the read you get is he. He's really, really, really like he seems to know a lot about a lot of things. Like a lot.
Okay.
Like he can recognize military grade power, combat armor. He can recognize that it's been de-armed. He can have a fully cogent conversation about ancient technologies. He's completely unreadable, so he's obviously far more experienced, or at least as experienced as Kush is in lying and deception. Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah. Okay.
Right,
so he's the main dude.
Yeah. My shoulders relax a little bit as I make these kind of calculations.
Yeah. Now, so I gather that you're also here to attend the conference proper and enjoy some of the topics we're going to be talking about.
I think certainly some of them will be interesting.
I just wonder one question: what might you be seeking? What could you share? What would you be able to talk to us about?
Right, hand on head. Well, fuck. I
could perhaps talk about my experiences in the Shanti system.
I think well, I have a really interesting subject that unfortunately it takes a certain mind to understand. And if the mind can't fathom it, they will not hear what I say.
That's a cool party trick.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, when you're ready to share, it would be I personally would be very interested to hear what you've got to say.
Cool. All right. Well, perhaps we will discuss the subject when we're doing our discussion, and in doing so, you can gauge whether it's something worth sharing with the rest of the group.
Yes, that sounds excellent. Well, look, I think let's let's keep on talking. I mean, we still have that need that need to have that discussion. Now, as he turns to leave, you can see, like he's wearing a shirt. He's not wearing like a bodysuit or anything. And you can all see there's tattooed marks coming up from his chest around his neck. Can I get anyone who's got Streetwise to make a Streetwise roll? Or if you've actually got a specific knowledge around policing or criminology, you can also make that as a roll. I don't think any of you do, but just in case.
I've got profession belter.
No, it's not a belter thing.
No, worth a try. Thought I might have got lucky.
It's specifically a criminal thing. So anyone who's got Streetwise, please feel free to roll and tell me what you get.
Kush got a 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries.
I got a 6.
Not so good, although not without regard. Okay, so both of you recognize that, well, Kush, you specifically recognize that the tattoos could be related to certain gangs that operate out of Regina. So in the next subsector along from where you guys are, Inglis subsector. And actually the capital of this part of the sort of region, Regina proper, which is like the imperial capital of this part of the Spinwood Marches.
I'll once he's out of earshot, I'll pass that along.
All right. Okay, so oh, and you can make a deception roll while you're at it. Actually, yeah, that's a fair point. Give you that one because you don't trust the guy. I don't know why. He seems pretty trustworthy to me. Decent human being. Oh, finally you get it. Yeah. Okay. The other thing that strikes you is it's not an accident that you saw those tattoos. Like, he was completely impenetrable to you, right? Like, he didn't put a foot wrong. He didn't show you anything. And then suddenly he reaches over to his collar and kind of scratches his neck and you see the tats. And you're pretty sus
have been made.
That was a deliberate decision, not an accidental one.
Yeah.
I've been made. We're all going to die.
We're all going to die. I love the optimism. All right, so a few minutes later, you sort of arrived. You're escorted to your cabins, which are, you're asked, Orcus, if your servants will be bunking in their own cabins or they'll be sleeping on the floor of your cabin.
I'm sure you've got cabins for them.
Absolutely, but we don't know what your protocols are. Whether your servants.
Oh
have to
no! I treat all my colleagues well.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, fair enough then. Excellent. So you all settle in. You're greeted by the purser, who's a surprisingly sort of robust human. If there's anything we can get you, just please don't hesitate to ask. The crew is almost solely human. There's a Vargia somewhere, but you're not introduced to the captain, or at least there's a Vargia name. You're not introduced to the captain. And everyone you see is human. There are no other aliens. About a half an hour later, Jessica, who's one of the other researchers or one of the other alien ancient hunter types, invites you to a small presentation on her theories about ancient culture and who were the ancients. It's probably the title of her presentation. Who were the ancients?
Sorry, can I just rewind a bit? She's of the race that could see them.
No, that's Zenwa Alexei Kuda.
Right.
Well, sorry, she's from Seoul. Zenwa Alexei Kuda is from Seoul.
Okay.
No, everyone else has effectively got Villani Anglicized Villani style names. So yes, does everyone go? Does anyone not go? Does anyone want to do anything else?
I'm kind of keeping my eyes open for an opportunity for just a general chat with one of the staff running the joint.
Okay.
And generally just like, because I'm kind of positioning myself as not so much interested in the conference, just here to support my dear Lord. But I'm just kind of interested in a general chat, kind of towards the effect of, is this the first time you've staffed one of these conferences? Anything weird going on? Those sorts of questions. But very much under the guise of like casual conversation. Like aren't all these ancient types such a weird bunch of folks?
So Amkish Igdami is the guy that you end up talking to, or Amkish to his friends. He's a steward on the ship. A bit older. He's kind of slinking off somewhere to avoid. It looks like he's not that interested in actually working on the ship. So he's the steward, but he's kind of hanging out in a corner, smoking a cigarette, kind of scene around the corner from where the work is being done. Yeah, mate. Yeah. So you work for the fish.
Yeah, the big old dolphin. I follow him around everywhere. Carry his briefcase, which I still have in my hands.
Right.
He doesn't let me get it out of my sight.
What's it like working for a fish?
Oh, same as anybody else. They're all the same,
Huh? I don't know. Do you have to, bath him every night, or do you carry a sponge, or? I'm serious. What is your job, man? Do you pack a sponge, or?
He swims in his own fluids at all times, and I don't touch them. Thank you very much.
He does laugh at that, actually. So hold on. The fish's fluid is the fluid of the fish.
Look, I've never seen him outside of the tank. I don't ask too many questions. I just follow him around and make sure everything's taken care of.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Weird. Hey, all species, right?
Yeah, it's a big galaxy.
It's a big galaxy, but so he's not a so does he have gills or what?
I think he breathes the water. I don't know.
I'm a fucking dolphin. fucking read a book.
Yeah. Wow. That's
I kind of. Well, it is a bit unusual. Seems to only be humans on this place. Normally, we see at least a bit of a mix of folks.
Look, look, we like to travel high G sometimes. It's a bit hard on people's bodies. So, the dandelions are out. There's a few of them around. A bit weird, but, don't really want any dandelion action. We've got some other folk, in and out. I mean, we've had a few Vargir crew over the years. Funny story, Captain, raised by Vargir, has a Vargir name. But not a Vargir, actually a human. I mean, you
raised
get all
by
kinds.
wolves in the wild.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, raised by wolves in the wild. I like that. We might take that on board, as they say. And look, no. Have we ever done conferences like this? I mean, yeah, every now and then. I mean, we want to keep the ship going and pay the bills, and I mean, sometimes people organise this kind of stuff, right? I mean, it's pretty good. What about yourself? So, first conference?
The boss goes to this kind of stuff all the time. He's usually buying bits and pieces of this old junk. He seems to think there's something to it.
Yeah,
is this the
wow.
first time you've seen these guys?
What this particular
conference?
bunch of people?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, never seen them before. So when you said he buys stuff, buys a lot of stuff, or he's got a particular interest. I mean, I'm just fascinated. I mean, it's an interesting thing. People are buying this junk all the time, and the money that changes hands in these deals is, you could buy your own spaceship for some of the money that gets spent in this space.
Yeah, it's old Dolphin family money. He buys all sorts of junk. It never looks like much to me, just old bits of metal and rocks and things.
So he's never bought anything that actually does anything then?
Not that I've seen, but he wouldn't. I don't think he'd tell me anyway.
Right. Yeah. Look, you looks around for a second. Look, mate, got to stay away from that shit, right? Like, you seem like a decent guy. I mean, you don't want to get caught up in that stuff.
I want to have my own kids someday. Nothing.
Exactly. Who knows what the radiation from ancient technology does to us? Suddenly you're having no kids. Suddenly you're a fish. I mean, I'm just saying, who knows? I mean, where did dolphins come from in the first place?
How do magnets work?
Is there anything on board I should be worried about? That sounds like there's something I should be steering clear of.
Oh no, mate. Well, I don't know. I mean, some of these folk might have bought something, but yeah, no, nothing. So while you're having this chat, you've got carouse, right? Do you have carouse?
I do not. I have deception, diplomat.
Oh, deception.
Investigate. Deception.
Investigate. Ooh, investigate. Do me an investigate roll. That sounds like fun.
Intelligence?
Yeah.
That is a 9.
Ooh, wow. You're good at investigate. Okay. So a couple of things about Amkish that while you're chatting to this guy, you work out. One is he's clearly pumping you for information, or attempting to. And it's quite specifically tied to ancient stuff. He doesn't evidence much interest in the dolphin old money or any of that sort of shit. He's really only interested in the tech stuff. Second thing is, you think he used to be a soldier or at least military. Now, it's not unusual. Like, a lot of people leave the Imperial Navy and end up in merchant ships all around the galaxy. But he is notably military.
Or notably and a bit older, you said, didn't you?
Yeah, he's in his 40s. So he's older than you. So you think he could handle it, could manage his way around a bit of a fight?
Well, I asked him, it sounds like you guys do a whole range of business and maybe you've come across some of this old stuff before. My boss would be real happy with me, be doing me a favor if you pointed us at maybe somebody that he's not used to buying from that might have something interesting.
Oh, on the ship.
Or anywhere around these parts of the
Look, I wouldn't know anyone, but I'd watch that Glenn Backett guy.
Yeah, he seems like he might be.
He's neck deep in this stuff, man. Neck deep. I don't know. It gives me a vibe. He's a bit scary.
Yeah.
Seems to know a lot.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, look, keep in touch. Just saying, stay away from that ancient shit.
Yep, you too.
Yeah, doing it. And he leaves you unaccompanied. Okay, so while that's going on, Jessica's giving her speech on ancients.
I'm listening. I'm there.
Which is explicitly. So her theory is that there's no such thing as the ancients. Her thesis is there was never an ancient species. That basically a bunch of civilizations arose and had starflight or drives around about 300,000 years ago, and then their civilizations collapsed. Her list of ancient species includes the Vargir, so she thinks that the Vargir, despite some amount of genetic evidence, would have been an independent alien species. She thinks the Droin were part of this civilization of species. And she's also very convinced that some humans had the ability, or some human species had the ability to travel.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Well, the theory's nice. What evidence does she present?
She does. Well, she produces evidence which she thinks confirms that the Droin, at least, were floating around 300,000 years ago. And she makes the point that genetic studies have shown that the Vargir were found on multiple planets 300,000 years ago. And obviously humans have spread far and wide. So her fundamental thesis is that they spread themselves across the galaxy and then their civilization collapsed, or civilizations collapsed, leaving them trapped. And there's actually, she points to a lot of evidence about the collapse of societies that seems to have occurred. So, for instance, the Villani, the origin, species of the Imperium, their society seems to have gone backwards before it went forwards. She looks around before she talks about this next bit. She said, look, I've had some communication with Zodani scholars, completely neutral, not about psionics or psychic abilities, just on history. And there is some evidence that the Zodani were on the same planet as Droin, and their society collapsed around about 300,000 years ago. The Vargir, we have evidence that they were once starfaring and then they found themselves back on Lair, and then they sort of built themselves up. So all of these societies, there were members of these species found on multiple planets, and then at this point, around about 300,000 years ago, they all suddenly lost the ability to travel faster than light to a large extent, and then had to basically recover from that point. And that's her argument for they must have had a society, they self-propagated, and then they collapsed.
But there's no evidence to contradict the hypothesis that ancients uplifted humanity and Barbara.
The moment, do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
So the moment you say that, you're attacked verbally by the captain of knowledge, who, it turns out, believes that the ancients were humans and that it was humans that uplifted everyone. And so he's offended when you include humans in the uplift conversation.
Do you think humans are capable of such a thing?
Of course I do. Look at the dolphin.
It's not a great example.
The people of Seoul uplifted dolphins and gave them a genuine intelligence and made them capable of things. I think that's evidence enough. Thank you, Sir Orcus, for coming to my conference and proving the brilliance of human genetic manipulation.
Like I said, it's not a great example.
I don't even acknowledge the fucking ad hominem fucking foolishness, and just keep listening.
Okay. What about you? Sorry, Dan Clank, what are you saying?
Well, I was just going to say, can I also make a refutation based on if they were all spacefaring and connected in, there would be links in their technology that we would have picked up, not just genetic traces, but there'd be some connection. Yeah, if somebody comes across a spacecraft, and then they would all share would have been all sharing that technology. There's no basis for that sharing that we know of. No commonality that shows that they were aware of each other that long ago.
Well, but we know
biological
that
compatibility with their home world.
Well, I mean, yes, there are some debates about, for instance, the Volani's genetic relationship with their home world. But I mean, things change. I mean, there could have been, and she looks around for a second. She's obviously thinking about the answer. Of course. I mean, during the collapse of the civilizations, people were unleashing weapons of mass destruction on each other. Perhaps this belief that these species didn't arise from the planets we identify as their home worlds is related to genetic warfare that was done against the species. So that's what you all.
So
there's no evidence to support that theory.
So the claim is that they didn't have any shared technology because they are attacking each other's genetics. That doesn't seem like a strong argument to base anything off, frankly.
Well, I mean, but everyone uses jump technology and they independently discovered it. But we know, for instance, the Genoa, the other human species that joined the Imperium early, they actually we now, the reason they're a minor race, not a major race, is because we know that they found ancient technology on their planet, which they then used to jumpstart the ability to build jump drives. So what if we're wrong? What if actually every species was using that sort of technology jumpstart?
While I'm having this conversation with her, I want to look around and just see who's in the room, like from the conference, if anybody's missing, and if there's anybody who seems like uninterested, like they're here for appearances as opposed to a genuine interest in the conference. I'm trying to work out who's here, who's faking it, basically.
So, in quick order, Glenn Beckett is interested, if somewhat dismissive of the entire conversation. Like, he's interested in the conversation, but not fundamentally motivated by it. The others, and what's her name? I don't know. You can see a couple of the crew have come to listen. Vincenta Dashel doesn't seem. She's listening. She doesn't. Oh, sorry. So I've misrepresented Jessica's point of view. I got the two mixed up. So Jessica thinks that the species were all of a single culture. So there was effectively the Imperium 300,000 years ago, and so these different species work together as a single culture. But to your point, then how come? But your argument about the technology still stacks up then, because she believes that there was this single Imperium or this single coalition, if you will, of species. Droin, Vargir, some humans were involved. They were the ancients, and the ancients were a coalition or some sort of federated space, and then their society collapsed in some fashion, but they were all sharing technology and wisdom. So your point about, but where's all the technology coming from, still matters. And the captain of knowledge, who is sitting there, is ready to launch himself at all of you because you're all wrong, and he's very happy to tell you how wrong you are, because he basically starts this giant flame war, effectively, in real space, not in. But he's in effect basically unwilling to accept any argument but his own, and his argument is, well, there's only one ancient species, and it's humans. Humans were the ancients.
Surprisingly,
he's
none of the ancient technology we've found was sized for humans.
so it also feels like he's cherry picking the information because she's saying that there was a coalition including humans, and he's like, yeah, sure, humans and some others, basically. Is that
Well,
right?
humans and some subservient species. So he doesn't think that there was, for instance, he completely denies the idea that the Vargir and the Droin were somehow, independent of the ancients, and the ancients were human and they were doing everything.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And it seems like everyone who's at the conference is here, and they're all paying attention. There's no secret dodgy meeting happening in the background.
No,
Cool. Thank you.
not that you can see. As I said, Vlen is a bit sort of uninterested, sort of nodding along, like fascinated more in the arguing than the actual content of the argument. And Arjun, who is also there, is keen as mustard to be involved. And he's like, oh, look, so I think what you're saying there, Clank, I think it is, really good points, like so good. Like, yeah, I mean, exactly what you said. Like, yeah, just great, really. I feel, really reassured by that argument. But equally, I think Jessica's got a point in that, or Dr. Jessica's got a point, because, like, how do we know? Like, how do we know? How do we know anything, actually? How do we know who was the ancients? I mean, it's 300,000 years ago, right? Like, none of us were there. So how would we know?
I will look at him like he's a fool and eventually give up.
All right.
I get up and walk out. Not in a huff or anything, but I like, it's not for me.
Kush is seated by an aisle with basically on a hunting trail where the waiters come by, so he's keeping up with the free drinks and is willing to put up with this argument as long as the free drinks keep coming.
So whose free drinks are you sticking with?
Well, Kush, presumably we're getting waiters coming down the aisles every so often. Kush is happy to be part of this conference as long as the free drinks keep coming.
Okay. Well, if you're sitting there drinking, Vlen hunts you up pretty quickly. So, what's your what do you people? What does your church believe again?
That the ancients found humans and the precursors of humans and Vargas and uplifted them for their own purposes, I imagine, and that we were, I guess, molded in the ancients' image.
Oh, I see. And just really fascinated. What do you think the ancients were then?
I don't really know. As for were, maybe they're still around. They're still. I mean, there's a lot of ancient technology littered about the Imperium. Would it all still be here 300,000 years later?
Well, I mean, so what? You think there are ancients floating around right now?
Maybe they're not ancients as they were. But like I said, this technology that we find, and there are functional pieces of technology. So to be functional after 300,000 years of neglect, either the ancients were far more powerful than or even we could imagine, or they or perhaps descendants, or a subsequent civilization that's taken on the mantle. I mean, this technology all seems to come from stylistically seems to come from one source.
Oh, right. So I mean, the ancients could still be running around. I mean, by that logic, any one of us could be an ancient, but I mean, that seems pretty unlikely. I mean, how would you know who they were then?
That's the mystery.
Oh. Right. I see. I've heard similar things from members of the ancients community. I as in the ancient hunters community. And your companions that you're with, you seem a little different to them.
Well, I'm Barger, of course.
Well, yes, you are.
Difference.
I mean, yes, it is a very obvious difference. But, I mean, the rest of them kind of hold themselves in a certain way, don't they? I mean, if I were a guessing man, and I'm only a guessing man, of course, I'm just guessing, you know, you'd almost begin to wonder whether they were Imperial Scout Service or something. Just as an example of a thought that has occurred to me recently.
Well, I know Orcus has some weapons experience.
It's more than that, though, isn't it? I mean, look at the way they walk, and they act, and they talk. I'm pretty sure your little knight is wearing what I think is meant to be combat armor. There aren't that many nobles getting around in combat armor. I'm sure you understand.
True.
And as for the manservants, they seem a little bit more than manservants, let's say.
I never called them manservants, thank you. I called them colleagues and employees.
Oh.
And of course, I'm more than a manservant, thank you.
Well, I'll
more than
that,
a man.
In the past, they have acted in a bodyguard capacity. But,
I'm sure they have.
I've not questioned them too closely on this.
But you're not. I mean, you don't give that vibe at all.
I'm a simple pilgrim.
Look, I don't want to be rude. I'm not trying to be unhelpful. I'm just asking questions like, how does a believer in the church find themselves working with a bunch of Imperial agents? I mean, it's a fascinating question, you'd have to admit.
I'm not sure that they're, beyond Orcus's title, I'm not sure that they are working with the Imperium.
Oh, I don't think they're working with the Imperium. I think they're working for the Imperium. Very big difference. I think you're working for the Imperium. But look, all I'm saying is, this is Glenn Beckett.
Yeah, and sorry, you'll have to remind me because I was in the car when you were listing them out.
He's the guy that was chatting to you earlier.
The Tats, yeah.
Tats boy.
The Tat guy.
So, how much... I mean, do you like being part of this little group? I mean, things could be arranged. Places found for a smart young Vargier. Options available.
Trouble. Perhaps a little too out of trouble.
Is that what you want?
Sounds like you have a proposition.
Well, I'm just saying that, you might want to consider different employment options.
I'm afraid I'm bound to service the present, but
are you?
I am open to offers of a side deal.
Well, here's a side deal. If, say, you were to get me a look inside that little box that your friends are carrying around, it could be quite lucrative for you.
Do tell.
Well, I mean, you could get me a look inside the box. Next day, you might suddenly find yourself in a better financial position. Might find yourself on a different planet if that's your preference. I mean, we're right next to the border. It's not that far. Good ship, short jump, no more Imperial authority.
And, perhaps I'm prying here, but what's your interest in the contents of the box?
I just want to have a look. I mean, they've been very protective of it.
I suppose I could see if arrangements can be made.
That's what I like, a little bit of that entrepreneurial spirit your people are so famous for.
I'll see what I can do.
Excellent. Well,
So
do keep me.
What was the? Forgive my stupidity. What was the directive from the drone?
Oh, he just wants you to make sure that if you find any ancient equipment, that you take care of it, and then that he may or may not get access to it.
Cool.
Well, look, thank you. Yes. Just fascinated to know what's inside the box. That's all.
I'll see if I can arrange something.
Okay. Well, all right. Thank you. Can the rest of you make perception rolls? Scout rolls, I think they're called. If you have a said skill.
Do not have.
I don't think I have that skill.
So recon rolls.
Yeah, recon. That's it. Sorry, recon.
Sorry, was that everyone? I dropped out.
Everyone but you, Kush. Everyone but you.
It's a 9.
No, I do not have recon.
Could I roll streetwise, given that I was already alarmed by this guy's
that'd be fair.
situation?
Yep, go for it. Yep. Plus intelligence. Oh.
Finally got above double figures on a roll. Jesus.
You did. So, Clank, you don't know what was said, but you know that Vlen and Kush had a long conversation.
I am alert and alarmed.
But surely there's nothing more. There's nothing untoward. Excellent.
And I noticed nothing.
And you noticed nothing. That's right.
And you were also there.
Indeed.
Oh, that's right. All right. Does anything happen overnight? Kush, do you try and get access to the case?
Yeah, as surreptitiously as possible.
Okay. Who's got the case at the moment?
Yeah, I'm sleeping with the case, all but
Yeah.
handcuffed to my wrist. I realized earlier, probably, maybe even literally handcuffed to my wrist. I'm not sure.
Yeah, nice. Nice. All
Don't mind
right.
if it's handcuffed to his wrist. I just have to get the case open.
You do, Kush. I think you've got the right skills for this job. Wow, you don't actually have security. That's fine. Who cares? That's what I say.
Maybe a Dex and Deception.
Yeah, Dex and Deception. Yeah, I'll buy it. Yep.
So firstly, my door is locked. It seems like something to overcome.
Ooh. So yes, so your door is locked, but it's not like super locked. It's not like it's a secure location. Actually, Kush, you find the door oddly easy to crack.
It's a hotel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Effectively, the hotel in space, they're notoriously easy.
So you're able to get the box open without waking our good mate over there.
I'll swipe one of the gems.
You swipe one of the gems. Okay. It's escalating quickly. And what do you do with it when you swipe the gem?
I'll pocket it and close up the case again and sneak back out.
Okay. All right. Fair. All right. So once you've pocketed the gem, and do you just go back to your own cabin, or what do you do with it?
No, I'll go out. I'll head down to the bar.
Okay. Just on the off chance.
They have free peanuts.
They do have free peanuts.
It'd be a shame to let them go to waste, considering no one else will be eating them at this hour.
Yeah. All right. So you're sitting at the bar eating free peanuts with a gem. It's not. No, I'm not just happy to see you moment. And you have, it's a quiet day. It's quiet night. There's one of the stewards is there. The other steward, not Amkish, but his other mate, whose name is. What is your name, steward number 2? Hopefully, it's easier to say than the first one. Ilya. Oh, there you go. It is easier. Ilya. Who's working?
I'm happy to supply a generous tip in return for some information.
Sure, mate. Yeah.
Where Mr. Backett is sported.
Oh, looks at you a bit oddly. Goes, takes all types. But we're not about kink shaming, as previously agreed. So he points you at the cabin.
I'll keep an eye out, make sure I'm not being followed from the bar.
Yep.
And head to the cabin.
Okay.
And knock on the door.
Almost instantaneously, Velena's at the door opening it. Oh! Kush. Good to see
you. Likewise. Did you have a particular figure in mind?
Well, look, it's all very dependent on what I see.
I can't get you inside the case, but I can give you a peek at at some of the contents.
Oh, can you? Well, peek away. Well, come in. Let's sit down. What's your preferred drink?
That's okay.
Don't drink anything.
Yeah,
Gonna end badly.
Yeah, I'll stay in the corridor, and we have a couple of these, and I'll flash the gin at him.
I see. Fascinating.
Retrieved
What
from
does
a
it
number of
do?
ancient sites.
Oh. Care to explain what it does?
Well, I'm not a
If
physicist,
anything.
but it does appear to dampen directed energy weapons fired at it.
Oh, so some sort of energy absorber.
Yes, very much so.
And got a few of these then?
A couple.
Oh my god, you are fucking selling us out. Motherfucker.
Bitch, I will cut you.
Well, look, I'd be happy to take as many as you've got, I think. But maybe not
At the
here.
moment, at the moment, I can only.
Well, that
manage
wasn't the
one.
deal. You wanted to look, and you'd pay him a lot of money for a look.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want me just to pay? Well, this is the question. I mean, you've got one there. I mean, before your friends even know you were here, you could be somewhere else.
Yes, but I imagine my absence would be missed.
Would it?
Not anymore.
And I tell you what. Here's the thing.
I won't miss. I'm just saying that.
I tell you what. Here's a special deal I'll offer you. So what's your thinking here? Are you going to let me walk away with it? What's going on? I mean, I'm just
for a
fascinated.
price. For a price.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. And I'm also interested in just a little bit of information, a little bit of additional information. Let's call it the I don't know. Let's call it the good faith component of this conversation.
Sorry, you dropped out.
I was saying, be keen on some good faith on your side. So
How much good faith?
Well, it's just a single simple question. If I said the Omicron division, your guys come from that part of the world, do they?
I've heard the term, but
Well, I mean,
not in the context of my compatriots.
And how much do you know about what they really do?
I imagine they're in the witch hunt business.
But so they're not part of Omicron. If
Sorry?
I say those words, you don't mean, that doesn't mean much to you.
Try the words Omicron division.
The Omicron division. They don't work for the Omicron division.
No, I don't believe so.
Fascinating. So they have rocked up here completely by accident.
Well, I don't believe it's by accident. It was a conference that was certainly Lord Orcus's interest.
don't you think we can? I mean, considering what I'm about to give you, don't you think we can step past these little acting games for just 1 second?
What are you about to give me?
Well, I could. I mean, it could be anything really. As we discussed, you could tomorrow morning. Your friends could find that you have gone missing.
That sounds
Never to hear from you again. Well, not in that way. I mean, we'd have to hide you somewhere.
You could be dead.
He is the world's worst fucking negotiator. I could arrange to kill you and your body would never be found. How's that sound for a deal?
Which it's one end of the spectrum. Or I can just give you a little bit of money and you can go on your merry way. What would you prefer? I mean, I tell you what, I'm willing to pay you 100,000 credits for that gem.
That's worth at least 250.
Oh, expert in ancient artifacts, are we?
I know value when I see it.
Okay. I'm willing to trade for 250 if you're willing to tell me exactly who your compatriots are.
He doesn't know.
Well, Lord Orcus is was knighted for his service to the Marines. The others, they work for someone, but I don't know who.
So you don't actually know who they are?
Well, I know that this Omicron group you speak of, I've only been referred to in the third person.
By who?
I've listened in on conversations.
So they know about the Omicron division?
I don't think they know a whole lot, no.
Okay, all right. Well, I can trade you 200,000 credits and arrange at some point in the not too distant future a pickup, if you'd like. One imagines when they find out the gem is missing, they might have opinions.
Yeah, well, I do have a little more on perhaps. Now that I think about on the Omicron division, I know that they've have been active in the area, particularly in the Glisten system.
Well, we can always find other places to be. Happy to set that up for you. I'll tell you what, all you need to do is ask.
And how do I contact you?
Oh, here, I'll give you a link. Whenever you're within an Imperial planet, if you send a message to this link, I'll find you.
Oh, excellent. And as for the financial transaction, can you facilitate that?
I can facilitate it once I'm off the ship.
What could be a problem? It depends on how quickly my friends notice that this artifact is missing.
Yes, well, that was why I was asking if you wanted to go missing.
Not just yet. Not just yet.
Okay. All right. I can arrange a transfer my point is that I can give you the credits, but they won't get transferred until we're close to an Imperial planet again.
Sounds fair. Sounds fair. Well, if you could transfer the credits now, and I could transfer the artifact, and
excellent.
be done with it.
Just if you could just come in, I'll just arrange the transfer.
I'd rather not, if that's okay.
Bye.
Well, I'm not.
This
gonna
is
do
the
it in
other
the
kind of
corridor.
disappearing.
I'm not going to do it in the corridor. Oh, all right, fine. You don't trust me. I'm hurt. I'm deeply, deeply hurt. But
I apologize. I apologize.
And you should. Because that lack of trust is exactly how you ended up where you are right now. That much I can tell straight away. Now, just give me a moment. I'll be right back.
Says the person paying in to betray us.
That's right. About 20 seconds later, all of the lights in the area that you're in, so the corridor lights, all shut down.
Run.
You just run.
I just run.
Okay. So you bolt down the corridor. It's completely pitch black. You hear Valen saying, where have you gone? Okay. All right, you just
pushes his thief, but more so he is a coward.
He's a complete coward. All right, well, you've got the gem. You don't have any money. The lights come back on about a minute later. One of the stewards comes down and is like, "We've just had a power outage in this area. You know, where do you run to?"
Away, I think.
Just away. Just in
Well,
general,
if it's pitch black, I'm panicking hand over hand.
And you've just forgotten that the gem you have eats power.
Yes. Yes, he has. Most definitely.
Okay. You run down the corridor. Can you make a stealth roll for me, please?
Oh, pardon me.
Oh, that's a good point. I can actually do that. Huh. Can I do this?
Still an 8, not bad.
I can do this. By the way, that is what I just realized I had a much easier way to share. That is what the glisten pearl looks like on the outside, by the way. Just thought I'd show you the picture. So it's this
Very
3-decked ship. Yeah, quite like it. All right. All right. So yes, where did you go with this stealth roll? There, Orcus, not Orcus, Kush, my old mate.
An 8.
An 8. All right, you're running through the darkened corridor. The lights start to come back on. You can hear footsteps coming towards you from in front of you. What do you want to do? There's someone running down the corridor in your general direction.
I guess I'll die.
I'll keep running away from
No, these people are running towards you, or rather, you're running towards them.
I will run perpendicular to them then, if at all possible.
All right, so you duck down a side corridor, let's say. Okay, you see one of the two stewards, not Ilya, the other one, Amkish, running down the corridor, looking very puzzled. He's got a Gauss pistol in his hand.
That's not good. I'll try to get away as quickly as I can.
So he's not. So he kind of runs past you. You duck down this side corridor, and he runs directly past you. He's got this Gauss pistol in his hand, and he's like running down the corridor, looking very confused, trying to work out what's going on.
Once it's passed, a couple of seconds after it's passed, I'll stick my head out and try to run in the direction it came from.
Right. So you pop your head out. He's running down the corridor. You see Vlen sort of standing at his doorway, looking at the guy, completely confused for a second. And then you see Vlen sigh. This kind of world-weary sigh as he sees that he's got a Gauss pistol in his hand. And do you stick around, or do you just run down the corridor?
So does Vlen have a Gauss pistol as well, or just the steward?
No, Vlen was the guy you were talking to, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he does not appear to be
I wasn't sure
armed.
whether they both had.
No, he does not appear to be armed.
Can I see the steward still, or is he gone around the corner?
No. So long corridor.
Yep.
Vlen standing outside of his door. You can see Vlen. The stewards run down the corridor past you. You ducked into a side corridor.
Yep.
You've then popped your head back out. So big long corridor. The lights are coming on. Vlen is standing there. Guy running up to him with Gauss pistol.
Yeah, I'll run away.
You just turn and run?
Yeah. I'll run.
Okay, you hear a sort of now. There's just been a little bit of a mistake, and you can hear Amkish sort of going up. Sir, I need to examine everything that's gone on here, and Vlen's going. I just don't think that I can let that happen. Is kind of the last thing you hear, and when you hear it, that power shutdown occurs again. And you've bolted away. All right, next morning. Oh, Kush, what do you do with the gem? There's not a lot of places to hide in a spaceship.
True. But I will stick it in the fridge, in the common area of our quarters. and go to bed.
Okay.
All my failure is I gotta go to shit. Fuck.
All right, so you jam it into the fridge and you go to bed. The next morning, you all wake up. A couple of really key points. The fridge isn't working. There's just a pool of water, which is like all the melted ice from the fridge, or the melted goods from the fridge, are all sort of pooling on the floor in front of the fridge. The fridge has shut down overnight.
Well, before Antos even gets outside to discover the pool of water outside the fridge, being a consummate professional and well-trained Imperial agent, he just checks on the contents of his briefcase the first thing when he wakes up and discovers the gem is missing.
One of the gems. You've got two.
One of the gems is missing.
That's right.
Not Antos isn't one to panic, of course. But I do.
Someone crept into your room at night and stole one of the gems.
Yeah. And I'm going straight to talk to the fish.
Right.
What to do about this.
I like that I've embedded the fish in this conversation. All right. Go and talk to Orcus. What are you guys doing?
I'm going to try and fix the fridge while this is all happening.
Okay, you're trying to fix the fridge. There's a large black gem at the back of the fridge, but you can deal with that in a moment. Fish and Orcus and Antos, you have a chat.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much the chat. I have no idea. I didn't wake up. I literally was sleeping with the case in my bed. So somebody has come in, not stabbed me, which seems pretty polite of them, to be honest, in the circumstance, and has stolen just one of the gems and left everything else in the case there and locked the case back up again.
All right, let's go talk to our colleagues.
Yeah, that seems like the right idea. So Team
All right.
Huddle.
Yeah, and while you're calling out the Team Huddle, Clank is like, I got the fridge door open and there's a gem at the back of the fridge. So that hasn't gone very far. Coach, are you going to try and lie your way through this one?
Absolutely.
Feels like an important question. Oh, awesome. All right.
Big, sad puppy dog eyes.
I don't know what the fuck happened here. I was asleep in my room the whole time. That kind of line.
Yeah, I just turned around 3 times and I was out like a light.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. All right, Clank, you've got the gem. What are you doing?
Well, when they talk about it missing, I will bring it up if I can. That when I saw it, and knowing how valuable this is, if I could have used gloves to pick it up, so as not to disturb any finger or paw prints, as the case may be, and bring it to the other's attention to suggest maybe let's confirm that this is the reason why the fridge isn't working, and B, it looks like it looks like whoever did it, for whatever reason, decided to leave behind the evidence and might not have been all that bright. And then if I could sotto voce to the rest of you and leave Kush out of it, just say, and I also spotted our canine friend talking to our mafioso convict friend yesterday, having a bit of a private conversation, just to the two of them. Do we have forensic equipment with us? I've got a mechanics toolkit. Can I dust for
I've
prints?
got a Waldo arm that can rip people's arms off.
I mean, let's leave that as plan B. Let's.
I find it very forensic.
I'll be judge and jury. You can take the other one.
Yeah.
We all look at Kush.
Yeah. Do I need to? Well, do I need to roll deception, or does Kush need to?
Well, Kush needs to roll deception.
Okay, cool.
And then that creates an opposed roll, which then you need to defeat.
Extract my mouse from under a very large black cat. Which is not a euphemism for anything.
No, understood. In this case, it's just a statement of fact.
I guess it's a deception and social roll.
Yes, you guessed. Well, ooh, gee whiz. Yes, it is. Not
entirely convincing.
Good.
Yeah.
Your fur is matted to your skin with the sweat that's pouring off of you right now.
Why did they give us sweat glands?
I'm
We didn't
panting
have them
excessively.
before. Anyway, it's probably the fact that you almost got. Well, you think you were almost assassinated by the gangster that's unsettled you. What about? Well, Antos, you could still roll worse.
All right, deception.
Yeah.
Social. Does it have to be,
Yep.
or can I be in? Yep.
No, social. He had to wear the -1.
Oh, that is even. Oh no, hang on. I got enough.
No, it's one
It's a 7.
better. It's a 7.
Can I just roll social?
You can. No, of course you got a double 6. Orcus looks at you, but Kush, you feel the cold weight of dolphin gaze upon you.
The baleful penetrating.
the cold, dead eyes.
I
The
was
dolphin
curious.
stares at you.
I wanted to see what it would do with coal.
I don't believe you. Like I got a 13, man. Like
I'm fucking seeing into your soul. Perhaps you'd like to start at the beginning.
Well, this Glenn Backett guy, he seems to know what he's on about. I was just trying to lure him out. You know, get him
All right,
comfortable.
And
like
how
we all
did
know
that
the
go?
story. How much, Thomas? Do you want to tell us how much we believe him?
Well, he's now telling you the truth in some ways.
Well, he's telling me
Like
part
all good
of the truth.
lies.
Yes, he's telling you a half truth. So
Yeah, but his role was -2 and minus +5.
yeah, yep. But he's now. So the question you asked is how much do you believe him? I said there are some that's very clear to you that some of what he's saying is true.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, sorry.
And is there a reason why you wanted to make that a secret investigation? Doing in the middle of the night with anybody being aware.
Creeping into my fucking room.
Lockpicking.
Well, I didn't want to alarm anyone.
When you put all those
About your
things together.
casual cold-related queries, you didn't want us to be alarmed.
Okay. No. So I mean, if I was to hear what you're saying, so tell me why I suppose the fridge tried to kill you, and so you came back here.
Sorry, fridge. No,
So I'm inferring
okay.
that I believe that you took it to draw him out, and your version of but I'm also for your version of drawing him out was you thought you could make a quick buck and it went bad. So tell us how it went bad.
No, this guy obviously knows something. If he's willing to pay this amount of money for a trinket like this, he's obviously got a buyer on board who collects these things. And I figured if we could find out who his buyer was, I could hook us up. And then we could pump him for information. And when I got back, I figured, well, I don't want to wake Antos up because that would be he needs
That
his
would be
beauty sleep. I'll be
impolite.
blunt. He needs beauty sleep.
He might.
Please don't take that the wrong way.
He might think I was creeping into his room to steal stuff or something. I mean, you got to be careful. People jump to conclusions.
But who would think to look for an ancient artifact in like the fridge?
Who would? Who would indeed? So there's that.
Stepping outside slightly, what actually is our relationship with Kush? So because Kush isn't an agent.
No, he's serving a sentence.
That's right. Okay.
He's effectively a CI.
Okay, cool.
Right. Yeah. So he's lying.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah,
I would assume he's always lying.
To some degree or another, most likely, yes.
Yes, and he's
always looking for an angle.
Yeah, no. But if you were looking for an angle that potentially, it's if you're serving a sentence, we have no what's the word? You're not Loki, right? Where we give you trust. You are literally a criminal who is doing what you're told, and so we would probably assume the worst, and we probably haven't been doing that, to be frank.
Yeah, I think we've been giving far too much leash to.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a bit specious. Anyway, whoa,
dude.
Yeah, whoa.
Not cool.
Not cool. All right, so
what if we said we gave you too much tank?
Yeah, exactly. There's a knock on the door while you're having this conversation.
We put the thing away back in the chest and stow the chest, and I go and talk to the door.
Right.
Yep.
Glenn's standing there.
Who?
Glenn.
Remind me which one's that one?
The guy that
Please
you
come in,
all...
have a seat.
Mafia man.
Mafia man.
Oh, right. Oh, it's you.
Yes. Hi.
Please have a seat. Sit down.
Look, I've recently been educated that sometimes it's good not to come in.
Yeah,
all seem a
who
little...
gave you this?
I get the feeling. I understand where that education may have come from.
Just wanted to say, I think there's been a bit of a misunderstanding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just want to be very clear that I'm just a collector.
You're just a collector who turned up after, for some reason, one of my entourage decided to do some sort of science experiment. Quite interesting.
Look, just saying, I'm a collector. Now, if you are who I think you are, then that won't matter to you. If you're not who I think you are, I just want to say that there's an awful lot of money in it. I understand you have some things that I might be quite interested in. And in any case, look, one thing I would suggest is, how do I put this? Imperial bureaucracy is a fascinating thing, isn't it?
Can I, even though he is just outside the door, can I move to place myself behind him?
You'd have to leave the room.
Yeah, like he's not blocking our door.
No, but he doesn't show any interest in having you behind him.
Okay, never mind then.
None whatsoever.
I think we just lost Nick.
And we found him again. Now,
There's our opportunity to cut it 3 ways. Just saying.
Look, I think what's important here is that you recall that I'm just a collector, and I think you should pay specific attention to my point about the imperial bureaucracy being a very confused place. Lots of people work for different parts of the bureaucracy. That's all I'm saying.
It's a shame we don't have anything valuable on us.
Yeah.
Terrible shame.
Yep.
If you did have something valuable, I'm just making the point I'd be interested.
Yeah, look, and I think if I did find the bureaucracy somewhat confusing, I'm somewhat equipped to cut through it.
I'm sure you all are. Well, look, I understand there's going to be a presentation from Captain Knowledge today. Some big reveal. I'll be fascinated to know what it is. Look forward to seeing you there.
Indeed.
Clank, is it? You seem like a lovely person. I just don't feel comfortable with someone at my back. So, if that's okay with you,
I tell you what. Just in the interest of sharing, perhaps if we were to have a future conversation, it would be with us and not an individual within.
Well, look, if you want to have a chat, I'm open to it.
I'm just saying if there is to be any future discussion.
Right, of course.
On any topic.
On any topic at all.
Yes.
Any random topic. Understood.
Yes.
Well, look, I look forward to seeing you at the presentation from Captain Knowledge.
Indeed.
Been
Thank you for the
lovely
visit.
chatting to you.
It has been.
We should talk again sometime.
It would be amazing.
And he leaves you there. And I'm conscious that it's now 20 to 11, my time anyway. So I'm going to call it on that note.
I just want to call up the execution elements of the sentence, just so I understand them.
Yeah. As in Cush's execution elements.
Yeah. Just wanted to just recognize where the law
pull
is.
Those back up. Yeah. Just reminding you that you're actually serving a, he's not serving a death penalty.
Totally oblivious to what's going on here.
He's not actually serving a death penalty sentence. Like, this isn't one of those.
But he could. But there's grey area.
That's great. You can interpret the law how you think you need to.
It's a complex bureaucracy, I hear.
It's a complex bureaucracy.
Stuff goes missing.
So I hear.
People, things, places, whole planets. I mean, fucking lose anything at this Imperium. All right. So next session will be, you'll be glad to know, a return to action. You'll have to listen to a little bit of Captain Knowledge, and then I promise you there will be much running around.
Oh, that's fine. Are we doing the 27th?
That's a good question, actually. I'll be in Melbourne, so that's probably not optimal.
Yeah. So do we miss the intra Christmas week and then just regroup on the 10th?
Yeah, that would work. Does that work for you guys? The other option is I'm on leave next week and I'm not doing anything except for 2 meetings. 2 meetings.
Except for you sound like my holidays. I am not doing any work except for a few things that I might have to be called in.
Well, yeah, I volunteered for one of them, and the other one I have an obligation. So the fascinating. There's actually a really fascinating one which I'm quite excited to do.
You might want to stop recording.
That's what